Hey everyone, this is going to be a quick review of the Shinwa Odachi. So, I've used this sword for a few months, and I have to say it's a really awesome sword. There's a few things I like, a few things I don't like, and we'll cover that right now. First, we'll start with the things I like. I like the color scheme. It's an awesome color scheme. The Manuki are really nice quality. The Fuchi is nice, the Kasha is nice, the Suba is very nice. The Koiguchi is actually tight when you get it, so that's better than loose, in my opinion. The Kurigata is actually properly sized, so it's not going to fall through your obi if you're using the sword for EI. The Ito is pretty good quality. It's not perfect, but of course for a sword of this price, you can't ask for perfection. Not too much anyways. The blade actually flexes, as you can see. So, you don't have to worry about bad cuts as much with this sword, and it returns right back to straight. As you can see, I hope you can see that. Goes right back to straight. The point of balance is actually pretty nice. It's definitely within 5 inches to the Suba, so that makes it a very nice sword. And part of that is because the tang on this is 15 inches long, which is definitely properly sized for a sword of this size. The blade is Unokubi Zukuri, and it allows for a whistle on the downstroke, and even on the upstroke. So I hope you heard that, which is pretty cool, definitely a cool thing that actually whistles that way. The Samegawa is black, which I like, and it also has the Gyakyu Manuki, which I also like. It's when the Manuki are on the palm side. The Habaki has a nice fit, the Seppa have a nice fit. Now on for the things that I don't necessarily like. Most of these things are definitely fixable. As I mentioned about the Koiguchi, it was actually a little bit loose, or tight rather, when I first got it. And as you can see now, it's properly tensioned. So it's now easy to open, but before it wasn't that easy. The space between the Koiguchi and the Kurigata before had way too much space. So the space right here, it was 6 inches, so it was more down here, and it just was too much space. I just stripped down the saya, put some wood filler in the old spot that the Kurigata was in after removing the Kurigata, moved it up, and then I refinished the saya. Which, speaking of, the saya finish was not too durable. It was the typical glossy sayas, which I'm not too keen on in swords of this price range because they show dings so easily, so I refinished it. Wood grain here, black here, and the black is to cover up the wood filler. The Sageo isn't the greatest quality when you get it. This is a paracord one I made and I'm testing out. But the one you get matches the Ito, and it's Ito, basically. So for someone who's just using the sword maybe for backyard cutting or something, it's not going to be that big a deal. Even if you're using the sword for practice, it won't make the biggest deal. And it's a place I don't mind them skimping a little bit. This came with shitome, the little eyelets. I took them out because to put a good Sageo on it, you need a better quality shitome, but even then, they don't always fit. Now, the Samegawa is not real. It's rubber. Now, in the description, it says authentic, which I didn't read until after I ordered it. It doesn't bother me too much. It's a place I don't mind them skimping, but it would have been nice for them to be honest and say that it's synthetic. The Ito is cotton, and when you first get it, it does not properly alternate. It is not tight. The Ora side knot is loose, or it's not even tied right, rather, I'm sorry. The Kasha is upside down, the Manuki are upside down, easy to fix. The Suba is backwards. Sorry, it's just hot in here. And that's most of the things with the ska. And one last thing, the ska was too long when I first got it. It was 22 inches, and when I had it in a full separated grip like this, the ska actually flexed. So I would end up having to hold it here, so I just shortened it down to 16 inches, which is more properly sized for a sword of this size anyways. So, now, onto the blade. Now, I don't have too many complaints about the blade other than on this side it says Shinwa with a dragon on it, which actually is a pretty nice addition in my opinion. As you can see, I hope you can see it. And then on this side, it has the serial number, says Damascus steel and handmade in China, or handcrafted in China rather. Where it says Shinwa, I don't mind that, but I really wish they would have put the serial number where it says Damascus steel and handcrafted in China down on the tang rather than on the blade. But not a huge deal, and I hope you can see this. There's a little flat spot right up here. Not a huge deal, once again, for sort of this price, and it wasn't something I was going to send the blade back for because, you know, otherwise than that, sword was actually pretty nice quality. It definitely arrives sharp, so it's ready for cutting, pretty much. Now, I didn't cut tatami mats with this, but I did use it on noodles, and it did cut pretty well, I have to say. It cut really well. And I used this for kata, and I have to say for kata, it has decent weight, decent balance. Handles pretty well. Is it the best? Not necessarily, but for the price range, can't complain too much. One last thing is that the saya rattles. Now, once again, would have been nice for this to be tighter? Yes, but for sort of this price range, you can't complain too much. So, all in all, I think it's a pretty nice sword, especially if you're planning on buying it to, you know, maybe make it a project sword, like what I did. Then it's a really nice sword. It's a really nice base sword to start with. If you're planning on something that you pull out of the box and it's perfect, you're not going to get it. Especially out of this price range, very few swords in this price range are like that, to be fair though. So, one last thing. On the description, it said 36-inch blade. It's 35. I measured it myself, but that's not uncommon with sword manufacturers. They typically include the habaki, which isn't right. You don't include the habaki when you measure a blade length. So, I think that that Shinwa needs to make some of these changes before using the slogan "Swords of Perfection." But other than that, it's a nice sword, especially for the price, and I will definitely keep using this. So, I hope this was helpful and informative. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and I'll see you in the next video.